I first learned about the Bob Graham Round reading this book called Feet in the Clouds by Richard Asquith. He talks about the history of fell running, some of the key figures, and he focuses in on the Bob Graham Round, which becomes something of an obsession for him. And ever since reading that book, I thought it would be so cool at some point to have a go myself. So the reason it's called the Bob Graham Round is because, unsurprisingly, there was a guy called Bob Graham who in 1932 broke the Lakeland fell running record by summiting 42 of the peaks in the Lake District within a 24-hour period. And that record stood for almost 30 years. Eventually it was broken, but that Bob Graham Round became famous and something of a benchmark for fell runners. Only 3,000 people have successfully completed an official round. A bit more about the round. So it starts and finishes at Keswick Moot Hall. It's a circuit that covers 66 miles, 106 kilometers, takes in 42 of the highest peaks in the Lake District, a total elevation of 8,200 meters, which is just less than the height of Everest. There are 5 legs to the Bob Graham Round. It's broken up by 4 road crossings. And so you start at Keswick and you climb up Skiddaw onto Great Calver, Blencathra, and then you descend into the village of Threlkeld, and that's the end of leg 1. Then you head off up Clough Head onto what I call Helvellyn Ridge, and you head along the ridge and then down to the next road crossing at Dunmail Raise. It's worth saying, although there are 42 peaks, you're not climbing each of them from sea level. The main climbs are at the start of each leg because you've descended down to the road and then you've got to climb back up. And the ups and downs through each leg are relatively minor. That second leg is usually run at night. It seems that most popular at the moment is starting at about 8 o'clock in the evening. So at the moment, that's what I'm planning to do. So you cover leg 1 as the sun goes down, start leg 2 in the dark, do leg 2 through the night, arrive, Dunmail Raise, God willing, at kind of first light, get some food, change any kit, head off on leg 3 at dawn. Leg 3 is pretty daunting. It's the longest leg. In some places it can be difficult to navigate. It's pretty rocky. There's a couple of points where you're climbing very steep scree. Leg 3 includes Scafell Pike, which is the highest point in England. You then descend off leg 3 into a place called Wasdale, and I think that can be a really tough point in the round because you've just completed a really long leg, and the only way out of Wasdale is up a really steep climb up Yew Barrow. And so I think mentally that can be probably physically as well, that can be a tough point in the round. I think once you're up Yew Barrow and into leg 4, I think mentally you've kind of turned a corner, you're on your way home. You know, you've still got some pretty tough climbs. I think a couple of the peaks on leg 4, you're basically bouldering up. Leg 4 finishes at Honister Pass. I think if you get there and you're kind of within the time, then you're basically home and dry. Like, that might be completely naive. But leg 5, you've only got 3 more peaks. In fact, most of leg 5, you're running on the road back to Keswick. How hard is the Bob Graham Round? Well, as I said, only 3,000 people have done it. Now, that is quite a lot less than the number of people that have summited Everest. Even the success rate is less for Bob Graham. So I think currently the success rate for attempts on Everest is just over 60%, whereas for Bob Graham is less than 50%. So there's certainly no guarantee that you're going to be successful, that I'm going to be successful. Why am I doing this? I love running. Particularly, I love running in the hills. For me, there's a spiritual dimension. You know, some of my most profound spiritual experiences have been on mountains. I feel a sense of awe at the majesty of God's creation. It is a worship experience. the Lake District is stunningly beautiful. It is undoubtedly one of my favorite places in the world. And so just to be able to spend time there, to be able to spend a day out on the hills, I'm just really looking forward to that. I hope it's just a really fun day out in the hills. Look, I'm planning to put out a progress video every week or two. Don't expect high quality videos. I haven't got time for that. But if you want to join me, that'd be great. Here's a link to a video about the causes that I'm wanting to raise money for as I take on this challenge. Thanks for watching.